Welcome, everyone, to the MedSpa Accelerator podcast brought to you by Everbo Marketing, the go-to resource so you can get the latest hacks and best practices so that you can market and grow a profitable medical aesthetics practice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the MedSpa Accelerator podcast. We're super excited to be here with you guys today because we have a special guest. We got Dana Smith over from Laser Smart Skin and Body Institute. She's actually a MedSpa owner based in Gilbert, Arizona, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and she's actually been a client of ours for a few months now, and she's been getting some crazy results. So we actually wanted to bring her on board and talk to you guys, and kind of share a little bit about her backstory, how she's getting some great results. Because okay, so are you guys ready for this? Because I'm about to blow you guys away. Dana is getting a 90% close rate off of cold leads that we're generating for her off of Facebook ads. Okay. And we've been at this for a very long time, and I've never seen it that good.
So unheard of.
So when we saw the results you were getting, I told Billy, I'm like, hey, we need to get you on the podcast because we need to share with our audience like what Dana is doing, because she is crushing it.
We need a little bit of that secret sauce.
Yeah. So Dana, I'm sorry. Why don't you go ahead and say hi real quick.
Sure. Hey everyone. So as Louise mentioned, my name is Dana Smith, and I own a clinic in Gilbert, Arizona called Laser Smart Skin and Body Institute. We just opened in April, actually. However, I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now as an educator. So I started out, I had worked in orthodontics for several years, actually. And, I'm just the type of person that needs to move up always. And so I went back to school, and I was going to go to dental school. And so through that process, I went through a laser technician program to become certified to do, aesthetic lasers in the state of Arizona while I went through school to support myself. However, I fell in love with it. It was a lot of fun. And so I ended up staying there at the Institute for 7 years. And they ended up training me as an educator. I ran all their state certification programs, did the medical director courses, customized courses, and then ended up breaking off on my own. So I've been an educator for 10 years. And I do feel, that is something that sets me apart.
Yeah, I was about to say that's very unique.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But for me, education is huge, not only for, as I'm teaching physicians and technicians how to use a device, but for my patients that come in. And so, there's so many different treatments and, suggestions for anti-aging and skin conditions. And I think education is key when it comes to walking through that consultation and helping someone through that process, especially when they're newer to doing these treatments. They don't know where to turn. So that's kind of been what I've been doing for all these years.
That's is awesome. Amazing to hear. And I think, I love that you talked about education. And then one of the things that you just finished saying was in regards to, how that kind of gave you a competitive advantage. And then considering the fact that people don't really know what is the right technology for them. And that's something that we tell our clients all the time, because the medical spa industry is still so relatively new compared to other medical industries out there that
there's always new services.
Yeah, and there's new services, new technologies that are coming in every single year. So people have no idea, what is it that they should be doing? What's going to get them the best result? And
where to start.
Yeah, where to start. And then, so I tell them look, right now there's a really big opportunity that you need to capitalize on, and that's educating your audience, And so it seems like you're doing that amazingly well.
Yeah, it gives you a completely different perspective on how do you explain things, probably.
Right. And, oddly enough, a lot of times, these different treatments that you hear about, they're more manufacturer specific. So an example would be, a patient might come in and they've heard of Fraxel or Halo or Clear and Brilliant. Well, all of those technologies are actually very similar. They're all non-ablative fractionated, treatments, resurfacing treatments. So really, I think it's extremely important for those of you that work in this industry to have a really good understanding of how to compare those and to educate your patients on how, something that you might have in your office compared to those treatments as well. So you look at this, and if I were a patient coming in and, okay, I'm going to start my skin process, and, you hear so many different things, really what direction should I go? Like you said, Luis. And so being able to understand as a technician or a provider, how to kind of articulate to your patient how, the similarities of those treatments, and it's really choosing a treatment plan that works best for your long-term goals, and being able to articulate that and educate your patients on that, because there's so much to it, and it's scary and it's expensive, and you can trust the person treating on you, and there's so many things that can happen. And so, I've really, luckily, not only have I been an educator in the industry for so long, but I was also a sales rep. And so, I sold these laser devices, and I've worked with every device you could possibly imagine, so I can compare those. But, I think that, your customers listening to this can give themselves that advantage as well by doing research and kind of looking into that and being able to really educate the patients on, what the differences are and what might be best for them. And not only, because, you might only have one or two technologies in your office, but how can you finagle a treatment plan that might compare to what they're interested in doing, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think that's really good. I mean, and like you said, I think, if a lot of people might not have obviously your background, but that doesn't mean that they can't spend the time researching the technologies and really diving in and putting the effort that it takes to really try to get a better result,
Yeah.
Um,
It seems like you have the perfect formula of education and sales rep, which is exactly what people need. Because, like we were saying,
What's that?
no, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I just connect with my patients, and they come and actually really do care. I'm in this industry because I want to help them feel better. And I know what a difference it can make in your life. When you get these treatments, you look better, you feel better, you're more successful, you're happier. Like I've seen it over and over. And a lot of people will look at this industry as like, vanity or a vain thing to come in and get these treatments done. But truly, when you take care of yourself, whether it's like working out or anti-aging or, treating your skin, then you're going to be happier and more successful in life. So that's why I do what I do. But.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Like a lot of people kind of see sales as this, like the car salesy, like, so like you have to just sell them whatever it is, not even understanding the other person or understanding what is it that they want. And if you kind of switch that position and actually tell them like, I'm not selling you this just because I'm going to get money out of it, but I'm actually selling it because I understand where you're coming from. This is what's going to get you the best result for what you want.
No, yeah, I mean, what you said was really interesting because, we just finished doing an episode on sales, right? And one of the things that we were talking about was obviously like there's a mixture between there's a balancing act between educating people, but using heavy jargon that doesn't really relate to your audience. And then sales in the sense of consultative sales, which is what you said. Hey, if you get this done, you're going to feel better. You'll be more confident. You're going to do, and that's going to translate into your family, your work, and your overall life. And you're just going to be overall better. Now that's that transformative sales process that a lot of the times, and you said you really care. A lot of the times when we've seen this happen time and time again, where people are doing these consultations, they're just kind of bombarding the patient with all this information, but yet they're not really spending the time it takes to hear them out and hear where they're at in their, let's just call it aesthetics journey, right? And what type of, actually connecting with them, and then really helping them presenting a solution that is really going to help them transform their lives, which is everything that you just said right now. I mean, I think that's a total game changer. It's like a whole shift. Yeah,
and I've always believed, honestly, the consultation is the most important appointment or process of the clinic, or, the whole process for someone's skin journey, if you will. So putting aside an entire hour for them to come in, we have what's called the Vizia skin analysis system. And so, we take a series of photos. It analyzes everything from sun damage, vascularity, texture, wrinkles, and then it actually compares you to everyone else in the system that was born your same year. So it kind of gives you an idea of where your skin's at. It gives you a true skin age. Some people like it, some don't. Depends. But then we can walk through and put together a recommendation for, your initial goals, whether it's sun damage or, texture or anti-aging, and then some long-term goals. But it's just a really good way to walk through options. And I'll tell you, with patients who come in, they're like, oh, I've gone to several different clinics and like, this is the most, in-depth, best consultation I've had. And really it's because I do spend time with them and not just, okay, you came in for Botox, this is how many you need and goodbye. It's all about every single person that comes through, whether it's a cold lead from doing through Facebook for, Botox or fillers. I go through that full skin consultation with them so that they can understand, all right, there is a lot out there. Like, what would be my next step if I wanted to treat, sun damage? What would be my next step if I wanted to do, laxity or anti-aging? And so that process is really important to me. And it starts your relationship with them to where they know they can trust you and come to you, with any questions in the future.
Yeah, that's a really great process you have outlined. And so let me riff off that, because I think that's a total game changer. I mean, because, you're actually spending a good amount of time with them to understand challenges that they themselves might not even be aware of. So you're educating them on a problem that they don't even know they have with the Vizia skin analysis, right? And so, guys, I mean, for all our listeners here, go buy this machine because
a game changer.
Yeah, because I think it opens up the conversation for you to be able to not just sell them on what they came in for, but obviously help them with everything else. So it presents the opportunity to upsell and cross sell, right? And so, is it okay if I talk a little bit about your current statistics?
Of course.
Yeah, and just kind of talk about some of your numbers. So guys, like I mention all the time in the podcast, and we do this with all of our clients, that obviously you need to know your numbers, right? If you want to grow your business, you need to know how much you're putting in, how much you're getting out, and what are the costs in between. And so that's something that we've helped Laser Smart Skin do. So like I said, they have a 90% close rate off of our advertising campaigns. They have $110 cost per consult. So every time they're spending $110, they're getting a consultation. Now it's only costing them $12 more to get an actual patient in, which goes back down to your 90% close rate, which is amazing. Okay. But here's the thing, we're advertising a Botox offer, and the Botox offer is them coming in for $9 a unit. They have to spend a minimum of 20. So that's $180 that they're spending. So if we're spending $122 to acquire a patient, and we're only making, let's say, 180, well, the profitability on that is not that high, because obviously we still need to factor in the cost of the syringe and then the cost of like the actual person that's doing the injections. Now Dana here, what she just said, I mean, should give you some light of where I'm going with this, because she's bringing them in, she's doing the full consultation with the Invisalign, and then she presents them the opportunity to invest some more. Not everybody's going to do it, but they're getting a really good amount of people onboarded and getting them inside of this treatment plan. So their average sale value is anywhere between $700, I think it was like $738. So here's what we're saying, guys. Every time Dana is spending $122 in advertising, she's getting a new patient that's coming in and spending an average of $738, which at that point is very profitable, right? Because then at that point, like obviously, so I mean, like it really goes back down to you presenting the actual like journey and what can be done. Like, so obviously you present the problem, but then you're presenting them with the solution that you can provide. And I think that's been a total game changer for you guys, where this campaign has been really, really profitable.
Yeah. I mean, it's been awesome. We've been getting a ton of leads, and, I have an awesome employee that follows up on all those, making sure that we get them in. So of course it's always like the entire process that matters.
Yeah.
Starting deliverable and getting the leads in that we need, and then the follow-up and the follow-through to where they come in for the consultation, and then the full consultation that I do with everyone. It's like, it's rare that I don't walk through that full consultation, because, that's where I'm going to convert them into a lifelong patient.
For sure.
And so, that entire process is key. And then, like I said, having like that whole education with them in the consultation. Now, I will say, because I'll go into, I've been training for several years. The last 3 years has been on my own with Laser Smart Education. And so I've traveled and worked with physicians all over the country, and, they'll buy a new device, I'll go in, train their staff, all that good stuff. A lot of times they don't have the money up front to buy a Vizia, and that's okay. I mean, it's, new, it's like 30 grand or whatnot. And so there are ways to position your consultation that, don't have that overhead, whether it's like a few apps that look at UV damage, which I have suggestions there, but just making sure that you really go through the entire processes with them, regardless if you have those tools, yet. Because oftentimes I'll go in and it's like, when I'm doing a training and we'll talk about their consultation process, they don't have a process. They go in, the person says, I'm coming in for a photofacial or to treat sun damage. They give them their photofacial, they're gone, they never see them again. So I really am fortunate in the sense that I do have the experience that I do, and, providing like that education for my patients. But I think that anyone can set up that process to where their patients can, have that similar experience, to where they understand they can trust that person that's going through, their treatment plan, and they convert and stay with them, hopefully forevermore. So
yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too, because that's the amount of money you're making up front, but then we still haven't even factored in the lifetime customer value, right? Like, obviously, if they know, like, obviously they started to trust you because you're giving them a really thorough consultation, which as a result, a lot of times it's going to be that they really like you, right? Then they're going to come and do business with you for a very long time. In fact, I will say that I've seen some of your text messages inside of Patient Gem, and I've even seen that some people have responded back to your person that's doing the follow-up, and she's even said, oh, I wanted to just talk to Dana and tell her that thank you so much, I am so happy, and like, they're just like super excited.
I feel so fortunate, seriously, for having only been open since April. I feel like we're doing really well, and I'm building awesome relationships. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of that has to do with me and my experience, because I do get awesome results because I just
you put in the work.
So, that's part of it. But again, with continuing education with laser technicians and making sure that those owners out there are hiring the right person for the job, and supporting them in their journey of becoming better with cells or better with treatments or whatnot, I mean, is key. Because a lot of times, I mean, I could probably say so much, and I'll just try to avoid like talking your ear off. But a lot of times, there's a technician, I'll go train, she's been in the industry for 20 years, and she literally, it's crazy. No progression since day one of going through a laser technician program, and just really don't know what they're doing. And so then you run into adverse events. You're not getting results. You're not, your patient base or your clientele base is not able to trust you long term that way. So, there's a lot of key factors, I think. But like I said, as far as conversion rates go, and what we're really focusing on today, starts from the beginning of working with the right company to help feed you those leads, converting them correctly, and then going through the consultation process. And that's all about, treating them well the second they walk in, letting them know that you know what you're doing, going through the full, on a consultation process, I go through different options with them. So, you really have to read the room. And if a patient comes in and this is their first time and they don't have a lot of money, then maybe you might suggest something that's less expensive, less downtime, but similar results in the long run, of what they're looking for, versus like going for the gusto and doing some crazy resurfacing. So different options are good as well.
Yeah. And hey, let me ask you this. I don't know if you're still doing this or not, but I know it was something that we had discussed earlier, and I knew you were doing it before. It was just in the very beginning when we started working together. So one of the things that we had in our campaign was that we said, hey, as long as you come in for the consult, we will do a free dermaplane or something along those lines. Are you still doing those?
Yes, I am. And you know what? I love that, because like, I'll do a consultation. Some people come in like cold and like, oh, I'm only here for my Botox, or they're not as open. You have to like work your way into somebody sometimes. And so once I get them in that room, I steam them up and cleanse them and do a dermaplaning, and they feel good. And like by the end, because we've connected in that conversation, it's taken our relationship in a different direction. And so not only are you providing them with a service that everyone's going to come in for a free dermaplaning because people love it, it's easy, and anyone likes anything free.
Exactly.
Come into a patient because they feel more comfortable with you, and they also are like, well, I mean, she gave me this, and all right, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to sign up for that package. Or
Yeah.
And they already experienced you, your staff, the
Yeah.
environment.
I mean, honestly, I can't say this enough, but honestly, guys, I mean, that's golden. Like, we advise our clients to do this all the time. Not everybody's comfortable with doing it. I was so happy, Dana, when we kind of mentioned it to you, you were like, yeah, let's do it. Because a lot of people that we've worked with in the past, like, they're like, no, I don't want to, waste time with them. And I don't want to, like, obviously give them something for free that's going to take up my time. And I always say, well, hey, you know what? Give them something for free that's not going to cost you that much amount of money. Yeah. And that it's not going to take you that much time. But, like, think about it, guys. Like, this person's showing up. They've never been at your practice before. They've never been exposed to the people there. You're giving them something for free. So a few things are going on here. One, you're implementing the law of reciprocity, which basically means that if I give you something for free, you're going to feel obligated to give me something in return, right? But then on top of that, Dana is connecting with them. She's making them feel really good. And then once they feel really good, that's like the perfect opportunity to pitch them something else, because they're in this state of bliss and they're like, oh yeah, I just got this for free and I feel awesome. I want to do it again.
And it's something that you can see the results right away with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they feel really good. They feel pampered. And then, like, on top of that too, this whole thing that we talk about, we work with people we know, we like, and we trust. Through that whole process, you build that rapport, you build that relationship. So then they're going to want to keep working with you. Now, there has been situations where people come in, they just do the treatment and they don't buy anything else because they can't afford it, or different things like that. But I think, Dana, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that the benefit has definitely outweighed the cost. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, yes. And it's that even happens. I was actually thinking about that this morning, just as far as like the conversion rate we've talked about and the dollar, the numbers and everything. And like, gosh, I wish I could just go tell Luis, like, because, a patient might come in and their initial, we paid what, $122 for the lead or whatnot. They come in, they convert to $800. Well, since then they've spent a couple grand more. And they're continuing to be, like, they're going to build this practice and stay with me, hopefully long term. But those numbers are even way more unbelievable. Like, it's really, I look back at some of the patients who we got from, the promotions you've done on Facebook. And it's just insane what they've spent here so far, and they're our friends, and it's awesome. So it's been amazing. It's really helped me to build this whole thing.
That is really great to hear. I mean, you have a really great story, because not only did you just start your business earlier this year, a few months ago, back in April, and then it's only been a few months and you guys are actually profitable. And not just that, you have a predictable system that you can use to grow your business, which a lot of people within the first year of their business have no idea what it's going to take to grow their business. They have no, like, way to fill their pipeline or anything of the sort. So, I mean, I think that's awesome. Could you do me a favor? Can you talk a little bit about your experience with Patient Gym so far? Like, I know when we first jumped on board, you're working with another marketing company. And that was, I think, one of the things that you guys were really wanting.
We started with another company, and they offer a few different services. Like, they built our website and stuff. And, I really like our website. It was like the continual, lead generation, generating leads and things like that. We weren't seeing anything really with them. And I think that's probably very common. Not only, just putting dollars in for marketing or advertising where you're not seeing much back. I'm sure that, that happens a lot in any business. And so we kind of got to the point where, we're new and, we have this commitment to put X amount in per month, and we're not seeing any return on it. And I'm just over here working my butt off on just building Instagram before and afters and referrals. Like, that's the only thing we had to generate this patient base, which is fine and everything. However, if you have, different areas to pull from, obviously it's going to help you grow at a more dramatic rate and whatnot. And so, we chose to leave our relationship with that marketing company and work with Everbowl. And I mean, it is a complete 180 as far as like the change there. It's insane. Not only, with the system with Patient Gym, not only does, are we generating leads, we're getting them, we can, schedule them and see them. It's the follow-up that's huge. It's the campaigns we can run. So, if I was a one-man band for a long time until like 6 weeks ago. You're like doing the leads, scheduling the appointments, cleaning the office, treating the patients, just every single thing, which, you do what you got to do in the beginning, and that's fine. However, it's hard to have the time for the follow-up. It's hard to, okay, who came in and didn't, or what lead did I have and they never came in for a consultation. And so that's one thing I love about Patient Gen, that you can, set those automatic reminders, if you will, or to do the follow-up and get those patients in, because we have seen a lot of return from that, as well as like some of the campaigns that we've done. So we did that microneedling campaign a few months back. It was huge. Like, we were having both my husband and I, who at the time was helping me do some of this stuff, we were just couldn't even keep up with the amount of
Yeah, to talk a little bit about those results. So we send out a text to your list of 400 people, which at first when we launched that campaign, we were a little bit nervous because we didn't know what type of results we were going to yield, because, it's a small list, right? And so we didn't really expect for a lot of people to come. It was 400 total, but I think only 170 or so were actually real patients. The other ones were just leads that had never come into the practice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So then total 400. So we were like, well, you know what, let's run it. And it was a low ticket offer because we were promoting a discounting microneedling very heavily. So you know what, but we were like, hey, well, at least we got nothing to lose. Let's get some people. We can make, at least a few, like maybe at least $1,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
Pay for patient.
Yeah. It'll pay for the software itself, right? Anyway, guys, so we did this campaign and we sent it out to their list of 400 people. And Dana over here turned it into $11,000.
That's right, baby. Woo!
So how will everything she just talked about today, right? I mean, because it was only like a $97 offer. So I mean, like, like if everybody bought, that would have been, is that 4,000 or 4? I don't know. No, I mean, if only like, let's say 10% bought, it would still have been a little bit over, right? Like 4,000 or so or whatever.
Yeah.
But, to turn it into 11,000. So I know you had people coming in that were buying a lot more. And then on top of that, what I thought was really awesome was that you had people that were responding to the text messages, and they were like, oh my God, this is such a great offer. Can my mom also get it? Or can my friend also get it?
Sure.
So that was really, really cool.
Bringing in people.
Yeah.
And building that relationship with them. Yeah. So now they could be.
But that's the thing, like you weren't even asking for a referral, but they still gave it to you. And the only way that happens, guys, like to everybody listening, the only way that happens is if they feel comfortable enough to refer Dana, because, Dana is awesome, right? I think we've established that, right? But
they'll refer everyone over.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that is like really great. Now it goes back down to your process, to the relationship that you're building with them and all that stuff. So congratulations, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work. I'm glad you're here with me.
Yeah. Well, sorry, say that again.
I just said I don't know where I'd be if you guys weren't with me.
Oh, we really appreciate that. We really enjoy working with you too. No, well, I mean, that's really awesome. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, was there anything else you would like to kind of leave our audience with?
No, I mean, I know there's a lot to this, and especially, I love this industry for so long, and more so because I love treatments and training and, helping people feel better. But now as an owner of a clinic, I think it's an entirely different dynamic, and oh man, there's just so much to it. So I guess one thing is just making sure you have all your systems in place, whether it's the marketing company you're working with, like Everbowl, and your consultation process and your staff, and just continuing that education and just really, putting the effort in to do things the right way. Like, don't cut corners, and just know that you're going to get that return as long as you, put that effort in. And
yeah. I will just say that, like, for everybody listening, guys, like, in order to have a successful advertising campaign, it consists of, at least just for the front end part, it consists of three things, right? At least in the kind of 10,000 foot view level, right? Level view. So number one is obviously a good marketing team that's going to generate, leads that are of good quality, Number two, Dana already mentioned it, which is the follow-up process. So that's where Patient Gen comes in, and that's where that kind of really helps. And then number 3 is your sales process. Like you need to have a solid process for doing consultations and getting people into the door, right? And I think if you have that, if you're building relationships with people, then they're going to stay with you, long term, and they'll keep coming back and buying more as long as you guys have a really good process. So, Dana, thanks so much for jumping on board with us and sharing a little bit more about your experience. One final question that I have for you is that if anybody is on the fence of working with us, what would you tell them?
I actually was going to interrupt you because I wanted to say a few more things about that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, shoot.
Talk about how, I didn't have a good experience in the beginning. And so we, transferred to you guys. And of course I love Patient Gym and I love, the direction that's going. However, right when we started working with you, I was just mind blown that on a daily, I'd get a text from one of you like, what about this patient? What about this patient? Like you're so attentive and so involved. And we have a call every 2 weeks so that we can update each other and just make sure we're going in the right direction. Like I have never had so much attention and I feel like it has been the key for me, truly. I really do. Like, I'm so happy that, I don't know how David found you guys, but thank goodness.
I think he found us through the podcast.
He showed me this, something you had sent him in regards to how the whole process works. And we were just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. And it has been. It has been amazing. So, if there's anyone out there that has, whether you've been in business 5 months or 5 years or whatnot, if you are looking to grow and have someone support you, in that fashion, like Everbull has totally been a game changer for me. And, honestly, to be profitable, I was profitable like a few months in once I started working with you guys. And that's unheard of. I was talking to my brother-in-law who owns a huge clinic in the Midwest. And he was telling me, I was telling my numbers or whatever. And he was like, that is unbelievable where we're at already. And so I'm proud of me. I'm proud of Everbull. I think that we're totally kicking butt and it is worth it to take that jump and to have trust that it's going to help you just grow that much more because no one can do it on their own. It's just too much. And there needs to be ways to monitor and generate leads and, help feed the clinic without having to do everything by yourself. So
yes.
Awesome.
I really love it. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
You want to be awesome? Call Luis at Everbull.
That is great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. It really does mean a lot to us because, that was one of the main things that we said, both Pili and I started Everbull, and so one of the things that we said was that, we don't want to be like the other marketing companies out there that we're focused on volume and we want to get as many clients as possible. We really want to have impact. And so one of the things that we're passionate about is obviously helping people grow their business. And that's why we even do the podcast, guys.
As business owners ourselves.
Yeah, business owners ourselves. I was going to say, it's not easy doing the podcast, guys. We both have to take the time and put in the effort. And sometimes we don't want to do it, but a big part, we know how much it's impacted our audience. And that's the thing, it's our passion. We want to help people other MedSpa owners grow their business because that's what we're passionate about.
When we see the struggle, we see where people are having trouble and we're like, we can help with this. We have the answer to this. We need to share it. And
so that's why we would like to work with a few select people and really help them have impact. And so we're so happy David found us and we started working with you guys because you guys are great. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on and everything you've shared.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was fun. Additional information in my,
So if anybody would want to reach out to you and just ask some questions, how can they best contact you? Is it on your website?
I guess by email would be the best. So my website is actually lasersmartskin.com. So if you want to check out everything that we offer here and just kind of some background on myself and, the other employees and providers that we have here. And then my direct email address is dana@lasersmartskin.com. So that's DANALASER smartskin.com.
Awesome.
So I would love to help anyone out that I can. And I do I still do customized training all the time. I have a huge group coming in a few weeks to do some fun stuff here, like advanced training on lasers and some other stuff with my nurse. And so if you ever need anything, I'm here for you.
And I'll do the shout out because he's not here. So David, your husband, he actually works for a laser manufacturer. And so if you guys are actually interested in getting some cool machines, reach out to Dana so you can connect you with David, and they can hook you guys up.
Yeah, he was an awesome company, and their devices are amazing. I'm loving them. Getting
Yeah.
results with them. So yeah, we could definitely help you guys out. Be awesome.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Dana. Thanks for being on. We'll catch you all next time. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys. See ya.